Hello, friends. Welcome back to the channel. I hope that all of you guys enjoyed your Super Bowl weekend. It was amazing. So the ladies begin by congratulating the Kansas City Chiefs, which, they completed a huge feat in an amazing game. They went into overtime, and the quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, did a phenomenal job, right, in that last play. And yeah, back-to-back Super Bowls are an amazing feat. So congratulations to all the men involved. Of course, Taylor Swift was right there on camera. Everyone was congratulating her and Travis. I am so, happy that the show went off without a hitch. Usher did an amazing job at the halftime show. They showed a clip, and the fact that he was able to incorporate so many different elements, right? They gave him 2 extra minutes, and he had, Jackson State University's band there. He had all kind of dancers. He had roller skates, and then he brought on, guest appearances from Ludacris and Will.I.am and Little John and her and Jermaine Dupri, all these people, right? He wanted it to be like an Atlanta themed show, and it was such a great job. So congratulations. And Alicia Keys, of course, let's not forget her beautiful red train, playing the piano. It was truly an amazing show. One thing that the ladies really were passionate about, they really went in on Nikki Haley, okay? The fact that, Trump was doing what Trump does, right? He riles up his base talking about, her missing husband, when in fact her husband is serving in our armed forces overseas. So Nikki hits back, just essentially saying that this isn't personal with her and Michael, which is true, right? Because that's what Trump does. He antagonizes people, but he feeds to his base, which they like that, immature type of name calling and just really low level type of politics. And so she's basically saying, my husband is overseas and this man is essentially unfit for office. And so Whoopi Goldberg actually responds to what Nikki Haley says. Let's go ahead and take a real quick listen, and then I'll give more commentary at the end.
Lady, where were you when you could have stood up and say, hey, I can still serve the country, but I can put you in your place? You could have done all of those things, but you didn't. You didn't care that he mocked Gold Star. You didn't care. So this non-answer of, I was trying to serve my country. You know what? It's like everything you kind of have been doing. And that's so...
Okay. And she's absolutely right. I agree with her. I feel like, all the ladies were extremely passionate in regards to Nikki Haley. She actually had 2 segments dedicated to her lack of response in regards to Donald Trump, while she was working for him. Again, Alyssa, worked for him. And I get it, right? Like it's almost career ending to try to challenge someone in power, especially someone as fragile as a Donald Trump is. But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, this is what we have to work with. And, I'm glad that they are challenging him. And I'm glad that they are, pushing back, saying that this is wrong, because he made fun of John McCain, who, as we know, was a war hero. He made fun of, prisoners of war, but yet he never served himself, right? He said that he had bone spurs and that he was essentially unable to serve in our military forces, but was voted in the commander in chief. I feel like, and this is just me, and I actually worked on a military base, and a lot of my family members, like my aunt, my uncle, my grandfather served in the armed forces. I feel like if you are going to be the commander in chief, one requirement should be that you have some kind of military service before taking the highest, position in the land, right? And the U.S. military is the biggest in the world, so it's pretty much like you're, going to the top without having earned it, to be honest. And I understand, Donald Trump is a businessman and he appeals to a lot of people. A lot of people find him very charismatic, but he doesn't know anything about the military. And for him to make fun of Nikki Haley's husband while he is serving our country overseas is just not a good look. Anna Navarro, she essentially told Nikki Haley to shut up, because it's not good playing, I guess hindsight is 2020. I don't know. Nikki Haley, looking back, she probably regrets a lot of things that she has said and done or did not say or do in regards to Donald Trump. But I don't feel like she's going to be the Republican nominee. I honestly just don't. I feel like she trails him, so far behind in regards to numbers. And she just essentially rubs a lot of people the wrong way. I do commend Alyssa for, constantly trying to prop her up. As far as, she would be lesser of the two evils when it comes to the Republican candidate. But I feel like for whatever reason, we are going to have another rematch of Joe Biden and Donald Trump, in November of this year. And unfortunately, they're the two oldest presidents elected in our nation's history. They both, were found with documents that shouldn't have been in their possession. They both their memories and their cognitive abilities have both been attacked by the other sides. They actually have a lot in common, to be honest. Like, when I really started thinking about it, they're two sides of the same coin. I think, like Nancy Pelosi, like they're all around the same generation, like the 80-year-olds. What is that? The silent generation, I believe. They're older than the boomers. But yeah, I really, would have loved to see someone younger and more vibrant take the reins, and not necessarily Nikki Haley. I don't like the fact that she's a hypocrite. I don't like the fact that she flip-flops. I don't like the fact that she essentially, would go after the ages of Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And then she was thin-skinned and got Don Lemon essentially fired from his job at CNN because he said that she was past her prime. She got really upset when Don Lemon said that, okay? But then would attack, the two candidates, Biden and Trump, for their ages. Make that make sense. Anyway, moving on to Mike. He is he won 3 Grammys, and I don't want to say his title because I don't think it would go well with YouTube guidelines. So I'm just going to call him Mike from Atlanta. But he essentially, was handcuffed, and I think that he had a warrant out. And so Sonny asked him about that, and so he said that he really couldn't talk about it, because it's still a legal matter. But they took him in at the ceremony right after he won his awards. But he said that some of his favorite men that he looked up to were in handcuffs, like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. And I'm thinking, okay, but Mike, you weren't doing activism work. Like, these men were civil rights leaders, and they were trying to essentially, change the world to make it a better place for everyone. And if you guys know anything about Mike, he actually was advocating for Cop City in Atlanta. So a lot of people don't like his policies and his politics, and the irony, right, that he was, advocating for Cop City, but yet he's the one who was taking in custody at the Grammys. So he said that while he was sitting in a cell by himself, he had a lot of time to think and really reflect and, ponder a lot of things in his life. And I sincerely hope that that was one of them, that he can't, think that arresting a large group of people, especially if they're a lot more poor and vulnerable and marginalized than he is, I hope that he doesn't think that that's the answer, because it's clearly not. The research proves that it's not the answer to social problems. But anyway, you guys, I really enjoyed this episode. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you guys think about what they said about the Chiefs winning, about Nikki Haley, about Mike? I'd love to hear from you guys. Also, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. It's a free way to support. Share the video with all of your loved ones, and I will talk with you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.